Hi, my name is Madison Spence, and this is my speech for paper number 3. The effects of racism have fluctuated throughout history, but with little to no change on its impact on people's lives and experiences. Racism comes in various forms of oppression that can determine or create havoc seen and unseen. There are so many people in the world who are too afraid to be themselves because of the adversity that they can or will face. My broad point is highlighting the unsettling normalcy of racism and discrimination. I intend to expand on that by exposing the real foundation and cause of racism that leads to African Americans being treated so unjustly and heavily feared throughout society. It's really unfortunate to know that these people can't be themselves because of the social norms that they have to live through just by being black. We can't teach people to change their beliefs or views, but with enough exposure and education on other circumstances and stories, there can hopefully be a shift in opinion and action overall. My thesis is education is the key to combating this racism, for it allows people to change their actions and focus on being more inclusive for the benefit of strengthening the morale of the nation. This topic is very important to me, for as an African American myself, it's devastating and traumatizing to bear witness to such cruelty against my race that is unforgiving and frightening, because I never know if or when the next victim could be someone of my own family or even me. I have brothers who could be racially profiled at any given point, and they're just as vulnerable to violence just as I am. Racism hasn't changed. It's still here, just demonstrated in a different way. Blackness is seen as a weapon and in any capacity, no matter who you are, how old you are, or what happens in that situation. There's a preconceived notion that black people are dangerous, no matter the consequences. The resources that I will be using are Giroux, From the New Gilded Age to the New Deal, Du Bois on Race, Education, and the Possibility of a Reconstructed America. Throughout that article, it shares the power of education, its benefit in relation to economy, and how implementing religious beliefs would help to change man's opinions to be more compassionate and treat man more justly. In quotes, he highlights the complexity and necessity of raising African American boys to be a step ahead of society when it comes to racism because of how easily violence can be inflicted on them just through racial profiling. Fear, numbness, and bondage are generational curses for African Americans, forcing them to change who they are to ensure their day-to-day survival. The last piece of resource that I will use is the 13th documentary on Netflix. It is the title stands for the 13th Amendment, which abolishes slavery and ended involuntary servitude, except as a punishment for conviction of a crime. It highlights the crisis of mass incarceration and how the majority of the population in jails are African Americans for minor crimes, for lengthy sentences, or even no crimes at all. It's about the new Jim Crow and how racism is still here, it's just simply redesigned. The next steps that I will use to draft and write my paper, I will get more specific information from those resources that I used above and make sure that the format from broad to narrow is as concise as possible and take it from there just to see if I can make it a really good piece. And that's it. Thank you so much for listening, and bye.